and welcome to another exciting Premier Power Hour podcast. I'm Billy.
I'm Zach. We got a great guest today, Billy. We got Patty Stoff.
Hi.
Thanks for joining us, Patty.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
Nice to see you again, Patty.
It's good seeing you, Billy.
We go back a ways. We were probably hired around the same time, about 10 years ago now.
Yeah, 2010.
Can you think back all that time and remember, how did you get your start? Where did you find out about this place? How did you get inside?
Actually, a really funny story. I worked for a payphone company, and I was playing volleyball with a group of ladies that I had just met. And, of course, we were kind of going out of business, and I kind of just said, hey, if anybody hears about an accounting position, let me know, because I really don't want to lose my job, because I had just had twins, and I had a 2-year-old son, and I didn't want to be without a job. Yeah. So one of the ladies actually gave me a name and a contact, and said contact them. They have an accounts payable position, and I contacted, interviewed, and ended up with the position here at Premier.
Very nice. A payphone company, too.
Payphone,
yeah.
Are there any payphones left?
I saw a payphone in your Louisville airport. I have seen only one other one. There was one in Detroit. Other than that, I have not seen one in the United States.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you see a payphone, can you tell, this is a good one?
No, they're about the same model.
It's all...
Okay.
Yeah.
Tricks of the trade.
Tricks of the trade is you walk out and make sure there ain't no quarters in there.
A lot different between your payphones. Good to know. Voice quality is going to be the same. Everything's going to be the same.
How much was a call when you left? How much was a call at the end of the...
50 cents.
It was 50 cents.
50 cents
Good Lord.
for how long do you get?
As long as it was local, it was a 50-cent call for anywhere.
For
local.
anywhere.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Wow.
I'm just thinking 50 cents and you're at the airport and you're calling somebody local and you could be on there for hours.
Right.
If you needed to be. That would get annoying because there's then the lines for the payphones.
Booths.
Seattle has turned them into cubbies, just awkwardly shaped cubbies.
So you can hang out in there and...
Yeah, and they're right by the bathroom, which is just a great creepy place to hang out anyway, and just a giant cubby shape. So
not where we
some
thought
things.
This was going.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We kind of wanted to confuse you a little bit.
I understand.
Well, I think when you bring up that you work for a payphone company, there's
something there.
Understandably, more questions that need to be asked.
So you started in accounting.
Yes.
That's not where you're at now.
Correct.
Per se, right?
Correct. Far away from it.
So there must have been some sort of career progression.
I'd say so, Billy.
To get you from there to where you are now.
Yeah, I've had a lot of steps along the way.
Can you speak to that?
So I first started with the accounts payable clerk, and at that time there was actually only 5 of us in the accounting team, and I think there's an army now. I then moved into the accounts payable supervisor, and then I moved into the accounting manager position, and then stayed there for a few years, and then moved into the ERP director, project manager position when we were looking for a new software.
Okay.
When we decided to no longer move forward with that, I moved into a corporate trainer role, stayed with that for a little while, and then moved into what we call the Ohio Valley operations manager position. Then I took on more of a regional operations manager position, which was more Indy, Cincy, and then Louisville, and then moved into the director of what they call CSP, or the customer service and procurement teams now.
Wow.
Big change going, because accounting's the back end. You really don't have a lot of. It's not a customer facing position for the most part, and to there. What do you how have you managed to switch it up like that?
With so many hats, yeah.
Well, I think most of that came from the ERP project. Being able to take on that lead and have to learn each of the different departments and roles to understand how we were going to implement that with a new software.
And ERP, just can you break down what that acronym is?
An enterprise resource planning software.
Perfect. Great. Thanks. I'm learning this
Terminology.
as we go. Yeah, so that's great. Okay, so the ERP. Tell you everything.
Yeah, and you'll never probably have to have a login or anything for Advancedware, right?
Let's hope not.
Yeah. So you just don't worry about it.
We're just not going to touch that on why I would need that? Okay.
Don't want to
Don't
know
focus
how
on
the,
that. Just focus on
how the
selling,
sausage
Zach.
is made. Just enjoy
sell
it.
some boxes,
Yeah,
Zach.
right,
Just
exactly.
do your job. Fantastic. What we've interviewed Joe Cox, and he talked about when he first started, he was one of 15. Was there something? And I had a couple fun stories about how he started and where Premier. Obviously, Premier wasn't then what it is now.
Correct.
Is there something that you remember? Some fun, interesting tidbits of your first job here and what it was like working at Premier at that time?
I guess the most it was just there was 5 of us total in the accounting team, and it was kind of like one person per each role.
Sure.
That you were the person that everybody went to for whatever the need was, versus now you don't know who you're going to end up with because there's so many people
Sure.
in each of the different roles.
Sure.
There was my memory is terrible. There was that kind of crazy lady. I mean, she wasn't crazy, but she was.
Good old
she was,
Pam Benningfield.
Yeah, she was a load of fun. I don't know if we can, if they're gonna.
We might have to edit this out, but
Well, I mean, but I she was always just she was a hoot to talk to on
She
the
was.
phone.
Sure.
And I think she would wear wigs and crazy.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
people would wear it and take pictures with it.
Yeah.
And
she would have her other wigs. Like on
no,
the
she would
deck.
take it off of her head and people would put it on.
Other people would wear
Okay,
it.
so there's just a
So there was a
sharing.
lot of
Yes.
photos of people wearing her hair.
Is
Yeah.
there a photo of you in one of
No,
those
no,
wigs?
I don't think I ever.
I know, but I
probably-
think there is one of Joe.
Yes, I remember seeing one of Joe for sure.
Nice.
No,
Are we
that-
talking
gonna
bright
have to-
red? Are we talking?
No, just normal
Just kinda
older
the-
lady style,
Okay.
the
Yeah.
the
Okay.
bushy
There it is.
top.
That was that's my fun moment from those
From
days,
those
from the
days?
smaller days of accounting.
Yeah, she retired 5 or 6 years
Yeah.
ago.
Good for her.
Still see her occasionally.
Awesome.
Still a hoot.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Good. But not crazy. I meant like fun.
Fun, zany.
Yes.
Yes.
You know,
Wacky.
that sort of thing.
Wacky.
So as you've moved from accounting or accounts payable, into almost every single role here at the company, what would you say? What are the ways that you've gained? What are some skills that you've developed, I should say, as you've gone along in the process, and how have you obtained those skills?
The skills that I've attained is just a lot of knowledge of how each individual department works. And a lot of that was just trial and error, asking the right questions to the people that I worked with, as well as kind of looking outside the box and understanding what I thought was going to happen versus what happened, and then asking why that happened, and just digging for more information constantly.
Yeah, absolutely. Did you have a mentor, or was this through our LMS, or was it just kind of reading books, fact finding for yourself?
Most of it was just situational based.
Yeah.
I had a couple go-to people, Joe Cox, who is just a wealth of knowledge, Jason Stenen on the production side. And a lot of it just became, I'm just eager to learn and understand how things work, because I don't like the old saying of we just do it because.
Yeah.
So I want to know why we do it.
Yeah.
And then it's getting into our test environment and testing the scenario and understanding why it did what it did, and then kind of how can we change it to make it better.
Absolutely.
That's the fun part. There were always, and it's been a progression and an evolution as we've grown. Those areas that were just kind of like, that's just
Right.
the way it is, but that had constant improvement to them. So that's the exciting part, I think.
Right.
Seems to be a common trend here at Premier of people working hard, wanting to be excellent in their job, asking questions, and then not getting feedback of, well, we're just doing it this way because we're doing it.
Right.
It's kind of I love my mother, but when you would ask my mom, like, why? And she'd say, because.
Yeah.
And it's like, you don't get that answer
Yeah.
here. There's other corporate cultures where you get that answer, and that's not the case here.
But
So-
mothers can do that.
Mothers can do that.
that's-
Moms are in charge.
We can.
100%. There's rules until you leave that roost. It is because.
What have, I guess, your proudest moment?
At Premier?
Yeah.
I can't say I have just one that I'm proud of where it just,
Nobody has just one.
well, I don't like a lot of attention on myself, but, I take the pride and being proud of the people that I've developed relationships with,
Yeah.
and who I've been able to work with and mentor themselves, getting to travel to the different areas and meeting people face to face and giving them, a person they can reach out to. And just being a team, I really like to have the people that I can depend on and not just holding the information myself. So I'm proud of just the relationships that I built.
That's awesome.
Awesome. Yeah, that's a good one. Do you often go to the other locations, I guess?
Some of them, yes. I don't get to travel as much as I used to when I was doing more of the corporate training. Now, like Indy, it's a day trip. You can take it. With COVID, obviously, it made it a little more difficult to travel. But we are starting to plan those trips to get back out and visit people so that they have those relationships.
For sure.
It's a lot easier to know someone when they walk in the door and have a familiar face versus, well, I've seen their picture, but I really don't know who they are. Right. So it's important to build those face-to-face relationships.
Absolutely.
In doing so, do you ever go and maybe this will be a post-COVID thing? Do you go bowling a lot with?
I try not to go bowling at all with people.
What? Because you don't want to embarrass them, right?
No, it's not that I don't want to embarrass them. Bowling was such a job for me in college because I went to college on a bowling scholarship, and it was something that we did every day for 4 years, tournaments and traveling, and I just got tired of it. Yeah. So I don't go bowling to have fun. Bowling was always a job to me. So to just go and hang out at the bowling alley to bowl with my friends is not something that I enjoy doing. I would rather go do something else.
You're in that killer mindset when you're in there.
I want to win money.
Yeah,
I'm not there to drink.
No, I'm not here to have a good time.
Exactly. I have went bowling with a few people here because they think it's fun because they've never seen me bowl. And then we go, and then it makes me feel awkward because they're watching me the whole time.
It's a performance.
It is a performance, and then it's like, how do you do that? And it's like, but I've been trained.
Yeah, I've been doing this
for a long time.
Have you
training?
This is maybe a dumb question, but have you bowled a perfect game? How many perfect games?
I've actually only had 2 perfect games.
Okay.
My first one was in 2012. I was 32 years old. Hard to believe story, but when I actually shot my first 300, people did not come and watch because they did not realize that it was my first 300. Because typically when you're shooting a 300 first time, everybody stops, they stand behind you, they're watching you, and no one stood behind me, which I'm kind of grateful for because that's probably why I was successful.
Now, when you say that,
flew under the radar.
Yeah, so when you say that, like, at a bowling alley, because I don't really know, at a bowling alley, you say, like, when you're shooting your first 300, you don't really know you're going to shoot a 300, or do you know you're going to
you know you're shooting a 300, because there's 10 frames. So, you have to strike every frame in order to do that. So,
but do you alert people, like, hey, I'm going to try to shoot a 300?
Don't alert people, but other people are like, hey, so-and-so's got the front 9.
So you can be bowling, and then if people
because it gets quiet. Like a bowling alley is very loud, and then when someone's bowling that perfect game,
when everybody else stops,
people stop bowling next to you, and people stop they're not down in what the pit area is, and then it gets really quiet, and it's like, what are you doing? Go back to doing what you were doing.
Yeah, please.
It was working before. I don't need the silence.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that one, you didn't have the pressure, but then the second one.
Once you get rid of the first one, it's like
You've done it.
It was. I've already had one, so it's like if it happens, great. If it doesn't, then it's not a huge deal, type of thing. So
something that most everyone will never have, right?
Bowling nowadays, it's a lot easier. I don't want to take away from bowling. People are great bowlers, but the equipment has really changed over the years. Just like any sport, like golf, you can buy different drivers and irons that make you better. Bowling's the same way. The equipment is made to make you a better bowler.
I did not know that. I did
not
know
that either.
Are they changing the lanes, or is it just the equipment?
The lanes are not changed. The condition or the oil, or however they condition the lane, makes it different. So there can be drier lanes, there can be oilier lanes. It's the pattern they put out, because there's different types of patterns that are put out to make it more difficult.
I had no idea.
This is amazing. So if I'm in sales, I just want to achieve and impress everybody always. Me and my counselor are working on it. I could go out and I could buy like the best performance improving ball and all that stuff and just instantly shoot better.
No.
Okay.
because you got to know how to throw the ball.
Okay, see, there it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's still a technique behind it.
Sure.
But a lot of people who don't bowl, their go-to is, hey, get a really lightweight ball and throw it as hard as I can throw it.
Yeah. Sure.
And actually, the lighter the ball, the less you're going to score.
Okay.
Because you need that.
See?
Now you know.
Now I know. This is fantastic.
So if we go to a bowling alley, we can just hang out, have some beers and nachos.
Absolutely.
And just watch
I will
everyone
gladly
else.
watch you all bowl.
Okay.
I don't know if I want to. Yeah.
I don't know if I want that either, but
That would be my Olympic sport that I'd like a gold medal
Oh
in.
my gosh!
Would be bowling.
You now are
by the
answering
way.
the icebreaker question that I
Yeah.
had from episode 1, which is
yeah.
what Olympic event would you gold medal in if you could?
Bowling.
It's not an Olympic
There
sport.
you. Oh. Well then.
It's a big debate.
You know, it's
I
part
know
of-
why
it's-
is it
Has
not
it ever
included?
been?
Maybe many years ago, but it is currently not. And
They've gotten rid of a lot of them,
they,
right?
yeah,
Well, that's
it's a big
unfortunate.
topic in the bowling community. That why isn't it an Olympic sport?
Man, I want to ask you so many bowling questions. I watched ESPN 30 for 30 on a guy who was a bowler. His dad was like one of the best ones. He was that guy that yelled out like, "Who are you? I am."
No.
You not
yeah,
seen
no,
this?
I haven't
Oh, it's
seen that.
amazing. I mean, he like he wanted to
Do you know
shout
what he's talking
something.
about?
Pete Weber.
Pete Weber. That's
Yeah.
it. Yeah, he was angry at somebody in the crowd. Like he like turned some anger gear on and then finished his round set. What do you call it?
His bowling.
His bowling
game.
Yeah.
And he shouted to the crowd, "Who do you think you are? I am," which grammatically
Yeah, it's
doesn't
weird.
make any sense.
It's cryptic.
It's if you want to call it that.
He wears sunglasses.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So he's a
He's
character.
a character. But yeah, so that
Big
became a
Ern,
thing.
Big Ern McCracken. Yeah.
That's amazing. Well, do you want to ask your last question?
Oh, we should probably say something about career progression or Premier again. and not
Premier,
bowling.
bring it back to bowling.
But we've got the signs, so we might as well. What kind of advice would you give to anyone coming up brand new at Premier? I remember we said this before because you would always call me, and the advice you would give is Billy, you've screwed this up, fix it, But you were very polite about it, and I appreciate that.
I'm glad I was polite. I guess the biggest thing I would say is find you a mentor that really helps you.
Cool.
It doesn't have to be somebody in your department, someone that you can relate with that's easy to talk to. Don't be afraid to ask why we're doing something. Because a
ask
lot of
why.
people, exactly, one of our mottos around here, but a lot of people just do because they were told to do. Like if you want to take it to that next level, really ask those questions of why are we doing this? How does this touch something else? What could I do differently to make someone else's job easier so that everything just flows from beginning to end?
That's great.
Love it.
That's great. Now,
Love it. I wish I'd had this advice
Yeah.
early on.
I'm telling
in
you
my
what.
career. I wouldn't have.
If I don't make it, it is all my fault.
Yeah.
With
Yeah,
all this
you've
great
got-
advice that we've gotten, I've heard through the grapevine that you have the best email address in the company.
There has been a lot of talk around my email, yes.
Yeah. Do we want to share what that is?
Well, I mean, I think people can think of it because our emails are made up of the first letter of our first name and our last name at prempack.com.
And this
Her
is-
name is Patty Stoff, Stoff. So
So-
you got the P, and then you got the Stoff.
Peace off.
Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah.
I
Pretty
like it.
amazing. Patty,
Thanks for
we-
bringing that up. I completely forgot.
I know that how it made you so happy, and I wanted to make sure that you got that in. Patty, we have a segment that we do at the end of these. It's called What's in the Box. It's kind of a grab bag question, get to know you. Sometimes it's a dad joke.
Okay.
Sometimes it's a fun fact. You ready?
Absolutely.
All right, let's do What's in the Box, sponsored by Premier Packaging. I got this again. It's the same one. We
Same
got to
one.
get some new pieces of paper. Patty, this is going to be an icebreaker question.
Uh-huh.
And it is...
This is
I'm
what he does
scared.
with customers. Yeah, this is how he right, and then at the point.
If we get far enough,
Okay.
I don't walk in with, hey,
Cold
pool or
calling.
beach? That seems a little personal.
It does.
When you were a child, what was your biggest dream? Like, did you have a dream job or something that you wanted to
I
accomplish?
probably wanted to be a professional bowler.
Professional bowler.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have bowlers in your family as well?
Absolutely.
Oh,
Okay.
nice.
How many generations back does bowling go?
For sure, too. So
Okay.
my family bowled, my father bowled, my grandfather bowled. So funny story. It's not funny, actually. But my grandfather passed away in the bowling alley from a heart attack.
Had he just completed a perfect game?
Nope. Just bowling league one
Just
night and
bowling
had a heart attack.
went out the way he wanted to.
Probably
Probably
so.
in his favorite place.
Yeah, probably.
For some people, that's If I happen, I mean, it would be bad, but if I went out watching a baseball game,
You'd
I
be
wouldn't.
okay with it.
I wouldn't
Yeah.
hate that. I'd feel bad for everybody else around. I'd be like, "There's a dead guy here."
Yeah.
But as far as for me personally,
You'd
be like, "Hey,
fine.
if Dad went out watching a baseball game, that'd be all right."
I like it.
Yeah.
What
I
about
like
you,
it.
Billy? Dream as a kid?
I refuse to answer this one.
Sometimes Billy doesn't play along.
I don't play along.
Yeah.
I don't play along. I can't really remember my youth that well. I think I blocked a lot of it out. So I
Great,
just-
great. Do you want to ask me? The question then?
yeah. What did you want to do as a kid? What was your biggest dream as a kid?
So my grandpa from Texas was he played quarterback. He played football and baseball, and both for the University of Texas. And he actually played pro baseball. And then
Nice.
his son played with a bunch of major league guys at the collegiate level at Washington State. Blew out his shoulder and didn't get drafted. And so I'm the next generation. So then all of us grandkids were like, who's gonna make it
Right.
to the league? So
Right.
in my mind, when you're a kid and the kid says, "Oh, I'm gonna be a professional football player. I'm gonna be this," right? And everyone's like, "Okay, Johnny."
Sure. Right.
This is a town of 500 people.
Right.
It's a fat chance. I was like, no, my grandpa actually made it, and coincidentally, none of us made it. But
So those people were right.
they were 100% right. Sometimes your dreams just die,
they don't.
and that's
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
But
you can always dream new ones. That's the
go to
beauty.
sleep every night.
Yeah. I mean,
That's it.
it's lovely.
That's a lovely note to end on. That's all the time that we have today.
Thank you,
thanks
Patty.
for joining
Thank you.
us.
Very
Thank you for
nice
having
talking
me.
to
Wonderful
you.
conversation. Until next time, it's been the Premier Power Hour. We'll see you later.
Do you have comments, questions, or ideas about this topic? If so, we'd like to hear from you. Please visit primpack.com/podcast to let us know what you think. Thanks.